Good morning, gang. Happy Monday. So, January 31st, last day of the month. We made it through the first month of the year and another month of winter. So, we're getting closer and closer to warm weather. What I want to talk about this morning is a subject that I don't think gets enough, if any, coverage on YouTube. And it's purely a prepper topic, and that's training. Okay, and I'm not talking about individual training. Okay, I'm talking about group training. And the reason I say this, most of us have some sort of group, be it just our spouse or our kids or maybe our neighbor or something like that, that we are going to be counting on for support in any SHTF situation. Okay, small as it could be. There's a tornado coming. Are you going to your neighbor's house because they happen to have a basement? Anything like this. All right. So, group training. And the reason I say group training is as preppers, we're all really good about storing, stocking, providing, needs that we're going to have. Okay. Gee, we've got tons of food. We've got backup electricity. We've got backup heat. We've got towels, clothing, you name it. We've got it all. Medical equipment. But my question is, everything's not going to work out in a perfect scenario. Do you know how to use it? And I'll give you some examples, okay? We all, most of us, have some sort of weaponry to protect ourselves. Most of us also go to the range and practice, okay? Make sure weapons are zeroed, muscle memory, know how to use it, whatever it would be. But that's great. SHTF isn't going to be a bunch of paper targets sitting out 10 yards, 20 yards, 50 yards, 100 yards from you. Okay? Have you and your group got together and discussed things, simple things like, do they know what fields of fire are? Okay? And I'll give you this as an example. At a minimum, most of us have our mag of our spouse. Okay? And let's say, for example, somebody's attacking my house. If Mrs. P and I are here, one on the left, one on the right, it's not going to do any good if I'm shooting here, she's shooting there, I'm shooting there, she's shooting there, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Because all of a sudden, both of you are going this way and everybody comes around this way. Fields of fire. Do people know what they are? Have you decided what they're going to be? Okay, the person on the right is going to cover everything, is responsible for everything from the tree right. The person on the left is responsible for everything from the tree left. And you don't cross over, okay? Don't need everybody going this way. I'll give you that as an example. Medical equipment, okay? A lot of us have suture kits or tourniquets or anything. Have you ever used them? Okay? Simple. Have you ever pulled out your suture kit, and I'm not saying cut your neighbor, put a hole in their belly and sew them up. Have you ever got a chicken, a rabbit, something like that, sliced it and then tried to sew it together? And I'm talking a little neater than when you put stitches in the turkey to keep the stuffing in, okay? Have you ever done something like that? So when you turn the chicken over and put water out of it, no water comes through, okay? There would be your idea that you've closed the wound correctly. Another idea here, and this one can be used, again, in a non-SHTF situation, talking about medical again. How are you going to get the person who is injured to wherever your doctor, nurse, whoever your medical trained person is, okay? It's not going to be as simple as, oh, gee, Johnny got shot, or Johnny broke a leg, or whatever would be, and he just happened to be right in front of the kitchen table, so we can just put him on the kitchen table and Doc can fix him. Not going to be that easy. You're out hunting, for example, Okay, and I'm not saying hunting accidents, though that's a possibility. Okay, but let's say as you're walking through the woods, Johnny steps in a hole, twists an ankle, busts a leg, whatever, and you're 2 miles from home. You're not going to call up Doc and say, hey, Doc, can you come out in the middle of the woods? Here's my grid coordinates. Come out here and help us set his leg. That's not going to happen, okay? Especially if it's in any sort of combat situation. You're going to have to get Johnny back to your area of operations, which means, do you know how to create a litter? Do you have the material to create a litter? You know, hopefully you do. Hopefully you have a poncho and some paracord, and if you're out in the woods, you can find a couple of sticks, okay? Or you can build a litter real quick with a couple of 2x2s. But do you know how to do that? Have you ever even thought about something like that? Let's talk about nonverbal communication, okay? Most of us know things like what this means, you know, not a problem, okay? But do you know what this means? Do you know what this means? Do you know what this means? You know, in any sort of SHTF situation, nonverbal communications are going to be very important. You know, there's a prowler sneaking around. There's marauders sneaking around your yard. You see them. You don't want to alert them to your presence and go, gee, Joe, look, there's 3 guys over on the left. Now all of a sudden you've lost the element of surprise. They think they've got it, but you know they're there. You know, hey, something like that. Do you have a set plan for evacuation? Okay. And not, okay, everybody, we're leaving here. We're going to Johnny's house. That, if anybody over there can hear you and has any idea who they are, with a little bit of intel, they know who you are. It's like, oh, okay, they're all going down to the blue house down the street. Okay. You know, rally point one. Everybody in your group should know what rally point 1 is, but nobody else is going to have a clue. And that's going to change, because now once you're at rally point 1, that's no longer rally point 1 anymore. So every one of them has changed. You know, you need to do things like that. There's a plethora of ideas that I can give you on this. But my question is, have you thought about any of them? You know, just because you've got thousands of rounds of ammo or hundreds of pounds of beans or whatever, do you know what to do with them? I mean, I'll guarantee you this, that there are people that have beans stocked who have no idea how to cook them. I mean, seriously. Okay. Those are things that we need to think about. Not only do we have the stuff, but do we know how to use it? You know, how are we going to get to it if we're away? A medical kit does you no good if you're 3 miles out in the woods hunting and have an accident. You either got to get the medical kit to you, which is not a good idea, or get you to the medical kit, which is the good idea. But nobody thinks about that part. And nobody's walking around with a duffel bag on their back full of preps, you know. Good luck trying to move with something like that. You know, out hunting with tin cans and mess kits, and right, sure, that'll happen. But these are the realities of things that we need to think about. And be it medical, be it communication, be it protection, these are all the topics we talk about and the equipment we gather. And I know everybody says, do you have the skills? But yes, having the skills on an individual level and having the skills on a group level is a game changer. Have a good Monday. Pinball out.